Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Enmity Podcast. This is episode 28, and today, surprise, surprise, we're going to bring you talk about player housing and guild capital ships. Fun, fun. I am your host, Raging Rondo, and on my Galactic adventure tonight, I have my panel with Big, Talons, and Ignitia. First and foremost, I want to talk to you guys about episode 27. So it seemed like we caused, a Reddit stir on the internet well, they're not internet airwaves, but they're some sort of system of getting information from one place to another. And when we talked about, does Star Wars The Old Republic feel like Star Wars? So I think a lot of people just flashed by it, didn't really listen to it, and just was like, oh, haters gonna hate type of thing. And I assure you that if you go back and listen to it, in no way, shape, or form were we being negative on the game. We were just bringing up some topics about Star Wars and where Star Wars The Old Republic fits into the whole spectrum. I challenge you to go back and listen to it, and I guarantee you'll be pleasantly surprised. But one of the persons, his name was Helvecta 2012. He actually had a really good response on Reddit, and I just wanted to talk to my panel about that response really quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and read it all out. It could be a tongue twister, but I charge you guys to listen. He says, I think the novelty, so basically we talked about some of the, last week on episode 27, about some of the gear, some of, the lore, and where it fits really into Star Wars The Old Republic. And is it changing too much? Let's see. He said, I think that the novelty of any MMO universe begins to crumble with time. Take World of Warcraft. The first 4 months of play felt like I was in the midst of every major campaign from Warcraft 3. Nearly 10 years later, I saw a friend playing the game as an axe-wielding panda, attacking a Tauren Death Knight, and said to myself, I do not know this place. Star Wars Galaxies, again. First year of playing, it felt like I was rubbing elbows with Han, Jabba, and whoever I decided to visit. But that's because nearly 90% of in-game models had been designed after architecture costumes from the original trilogy. But after a year and change of playing the game, I was either waiting for some doctor to buff me for 10 minutes, or I was soloing a half dozen Rancors. Yes, seriously, with a vibro stick. That actually sounds kind of fun. Think Nightstick or Billy Club, that did insane damage. Not very Star Warsy. SWOTOR, I have a lot of the same feeling. I started over a year ago and found the first couple of months to be very KOTOR. A real spot on, and really spot on. Admittedly, I see a lot of scantily clad women with dual blasters firing rockets out of their bras, but whatever. I designed my bounty hunter after Fett with a classic Mandalorian helmet and green dye. I regularly get tells saying, I won't say the F word that he put in there, but sweet armor set and the like, and they like. Nowadays, I spend most of my time PvPing, which has been designed much better than any other MMO. See? Well, he likes the PvP. So that's a plus. We're not talking bad about Bioware. Sniping people in GSF, vaguely reminiscent of Rogue Squadron, or running a quick daily on Oricon, which makes me feel like the Empire generally needs this stuff to be done. So that was his response to our show last week. And I have to admit that, after a while, any MMO has to change. And that change sometimes comes at the expense of lore. What do you guys think? Do you think that we've seen too much change, or do you see that it's going into a positive direction after hearing his response? And obviously, don't stop playing now if you hate us talking about this subject. It'll be 5 minutes. Just skip ahead 5 minutes.
I think that so they've done a good job in general at keeping the lore on track. You're gonna get it a little bit out there with some of the outfits and stuff, but then you have to appeal to people that want to personalize their characters and maybe go outside of that. But I think in general he's right. You got Somebody was complaining about the Galactic Starfighter not really resembling Star Wars as much as they would like, I guess. But again, they have a challenge because they're 3,000 years before any TIE fighters or X-wings and stuff. So they have to make ships that resemble but don't look a little older in style.
Right.
And it's not always easy.
No, I think they're doing a great job, and honestly, I think adding the Gree into the mix is probably helped them a lot because they can say, well, it's not really their uh, stuff that they actually the Gree are giving it to them, and that's why they're further ahead.
Right.
So
Yeah, that was a smart move, and that's why they can get away with some of the blinky lights
or the
and
Rakata
more futuristic armor
so
and
further away, you know.
right.
So
Well, and even in the
that's
Star
what
Wars
they're
lore,
giving
if you're
it
keeping it to Star Wars, a lot of the technology comes full circle because a lot of it's lost and then comes around again. Even a lot of the ships being used in the more modern stuff, like even the Millennium Falcon it's an old ship that that's still good, so he's still using it. A lot of stuff comes back around full circle. So I think in Star Wars case, you can kind of get away with some of that stuff.
All right. So, Ignitia, quick thought process on that before we move on. Me and Big talked enough about it last week, and then hopefully they've skipped just in time to hear us go into our next subject.
The only thing when it comes to the lore-wise gear and all this stuff is I think Bioware is doing a really great job with it, especially with bringing some of the sets that are reminiscent of KOTOR on the cartel market, but at the same time, it needs to not always be the cartel market, and that's my only gripe of what's going on. But allowing people to make whatever set their look that they wish is up to the player. It's, I mean, if they want to be off basis, then that's up to them. But at the same time, they are trying to keep it as SWTOR as or Star Wars-esque as possible, and I think they're doing a great job with it.
Star Wars-esque. I like that. We were using Star Warsy last week. That you might have been able to help us not sound so lame. Anyways, moving on. So yeah, that's all we're gonna talk about that. I guess Hada's gonna hate y'all, so don't be upset that we did that. And I don't know why I said that.
I hate that you just said y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, I said
I'm
Hada's gonna
on
hate
that.
it, and I said y'all. So I'm not sure what I am there, but this is Star Wars. Maybe I just inherited some great speech stuff. But our next topic,
No, I don't think so.
I'm trying to get away from it. The hole has been dug, and now I'm trying to dig my way out. So, anyways, Talons has decided not to grace us with his presence over the last couple weeks, and I decided to give him first choice on what we talk about this week, and lo and behold, Strongholds was announced. Well, what do you think Talons wants to talk about? And the fact that he controls our guild ship, I just decided to let him at it. So, what do you think about this announcement there, Talons?
I think it's terrible. I'm very disappointed. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I think it's obvious that it's probably the biggest news they've had in a very long time. I mean, I thought I was excited about the Galactic Starfighter, but I think this is a notch above. I mean, everybody's been waiting and talking about guild ships, especially. And then they even add the Strongholds, which I think is an awesome idea. And yeah, it's just.
And then they even add legacy banks on top of that as well.
Yeah, exactly. And here's some things on that all used to be on the wall of crazy, and so we're really seeing some things coming to Star Wars that proves that not only are they still very actively creating new stuff for us as players and new content, but the game's still very much alive. And you know, that's something that they said they would never do. Being able to have a vault that you could share on your legacy was on the wall crazy. So was guild ships and stuff like that. And now you're seeing some of that come out. So, you know, again, I think it just proves that we're alive and well, and that people are really excited about the game and about stuff like this coming out. And so, and not only that, but it's, you know, it's a digital expansion, but they're also giving it to us for free, and providing a lot of rewards for the subscribers. Something that we were just talking about a minute ago was that sometimes you don't feel like as a subscriber that you're getting a lot, you know, throwbacks from the creators, but then I talk to people, for one, that are free to play, and I'm like, oh man, I'm so glad I'm not free to play. You guys get the shaft. But as far as free to play goes, they also get a lot more than a lot of games provide at that level.
Well,
but
let's be honest, if they've ever even bought from the cartel market, they're getting a free house, right? If they're preferred,
right? Well,
players.
no, exactly.
They get preferred works. I mean, dude, all you got to do is, like, I think pay for 1 month subscription. Is that how preferred works, guys? I'm not 100% sure.
No, being a subscriber gives you not only early access, but you'll get the complimentary unlock for Nar Shaddaa as well too. So
it also subscribers get a house with 3 unlocked rooms. They're saying it's worth about 1.5 million, which, I mean, to us, anyways, you poor people out there. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. But preferred access players are also getting a free house just without the unlocks.
Yeah, it does state that in there, and they're also, I think it even said they're getting a little earlier access. I might be wrong on that one. Kind of like Galactic Starfighter, we'll get earliest access, they'll get second, and then free to players get last.
The wording says, you know, that that we get to Nar Shaddaa Strongholds, but it says subscribers can also gain access to Strongholds on Coruscant and Dromund Kaas.
Or no.
Oh, I see.
Are you talking about the preferred access thing still, or?
Well, no, it says that subscribers get the Nar Shaddaa, you know, pad or layer, whatever you want, free. And then subscribers can also gain access to Strongholds on Coruscant and Dromund Kaas, meaning that if subscribers aren't getting it, then neither are preferred or free to play. It's just they have the ability to, you know, again, they're not having to buy an expansion. So subscribers get the free Stronghold on Nar Shaddaa, but you just get access to it early, again, as being a subscriber. So you still probably have to buy it.
Really?
If you want it on
Dromund
Kaas.
Kaas. Let me look for that really quick. We can continue talking while I look for it.
I actually have it in front of me, and it says subscriber early access, June 24th, July 28th. Early access starting June 24th. Nar Shaddaa Sky Palace Stronghold, valued at 250,000 credits. Stronghold label Galactic Stronghold. Character title The Illustrious. Preferred early access starts July 29th till the launch in August. They get Stronghold label Galactic Stronghold, character title The Illustrious, and that is it. And then the official launch start of free to
You're
play
right.
access.
Now that I am reading that, so
Big's always right.
I don't know. It seemed like if you look at the page, it seems like maybe it's a little bit questionable. I think they could rewrite it. I'm not talking about the one where the press release one. They released. Well, I went to it directly from Reddit, and it had it showed everything. And then at the bottom, it explained what everybody gets, and I think that one wasn't as maybe. I'm trying to think of the word clear. The way it was written.
You're not clear on what the word clear was?
Well, I think they have to leave some air of mystery. You know, you can't. They can't lay it all out what exactly we're gonna get, but they definitely gave us enough to be excited about it, I think. And like I think Rondo mentioned, another conversation we were having was that in some of the pictures you can see some of the statues of bosses that we've downed. So it looks like they'll be giving us, something we talked about in another podcast, which is decorations in our house that also signify some of our accomplishments in the game.
Yeah, there's a golden statue of Huts. It looks like for defeating Karagas Palace. There's a statue. Looks like for defeating Eternity Vault. It looks like a dragon's head, so that's probably a scum and villainy.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the way they look placed, it doesn't look like a set play, so maybe you're able to move those statues around as well too. I guess that's probably going to be the whole thing is you'll be able to design your house and move it around.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I don't think it's going to be as
awesome.
intricate as Galaxies, where you had entire people that went out and they built or they designed your house for you. As I think that was Miner who was talking about. He had multiple characters that he did that on. I don't think it's going to be that intricate, and I don't think it needs to be that intricate.
I see chandeliers though. So
I'm sure that they'll have a bunch of different items. I mean, I don't think anybody is saying that they're not going to have. I mean, if you remember, Swotor Miner said, "Can you imagine?" He's like, how many couches they already have in the game, and he's like, he was telling us that there was just a long list of just couches that they already have in the game. And if you want to talk about reskinning and the amount of reskinning that BioWare does, I have no doubt that we're going to see like 30 couches and whatnot, and to be able to design it around your own sort of play style. Or I guess if you're goth, I can't see them coming out with goth stuff. That would be a little weird, but nothing against goth. I'm just saying.
Well, no, but you'll probably have some like dark side looking, Sith decorations and stuff.
I was going to say if anyone hasn't. We actually did an interview with Sotor Miner at episode 26, so go back and check it out at 42 Gaming if you have a chance.
I might just do that after you motivated me so well to do it. and I want to take back what I said earlier about BioWare not making it, making it so that it might not be as clear, because I just read it and I think I was just reading through earlier and did not read all the way through. So I apologize for that, BioWare. Big was right, and I just read it too quickly.
Oh, I'm going to isolate that sound bit now and have to replay every so often.
I'm never wrong.
Big was right. Big was right.
Quick.
Big was right.
I think that's
just play it on a loop.
Well, one thing people I think people have had an issue with is thinking BioWare is just trying to get the cartel market set up as a cash grab and trying to make as much money as they can until the game dies. But them adding legacies, them adding collections, now them adding guild chips, legacy bank, and strongholds, it just shows that BioWare thinks this game has a future and that they're going to continue doing development and quality of life.
Well, you can say whatever you want on that, but the fact of the matter is, you can buy anything in this new expansion with credits. They're not. I mean, there'll probably be cooler items in the cartel market, or not cooler items, but there'll probably be items in cartel markets that you can get quicker. But look at it. If you want to buy, they're saying the Nar Shaddaa Sky Palace Stronghold is going to be 250,000 credits. I mean, that's daily.
Well, no,
you can get that just doing your dailies. So I can't see that as a cash grab.
Well, people were, saying that essentially they're not adding any new features to the game. They're just adding, some operations and trying to milk it until it dies. So again, I think it just shows that BioWare is seeing an investment, long term in the game. They're continuing to add good features to it.
Yeah, they obviously slept through Galactic Starfighter.
That in effect, and the thing is they also announced that Rise of the Hutt Cartel size expansion later this year. So it's
no, I think what Big was saying that they're only going to give us ops until the game dies, but he says this proves differently. This is giving us Elder Game sort of esque sort of things to do, where WoW recently in Pandaria gave them the Pokemon game. We sort of have like a house thing, and it seems like this is something that a lot of MMOs are doing. So I just credit Star Wars or BioWare to actually doing this. It shows that I agree. they're in it for the long haul, in my opinion, just by showing them.
And then also for the rewards, they're going to give you 3 additional rooms unlocked for your Narshada Sky Palace as well. So it's a total of 1.5 million credits. And it's nice that they're saying credits and not say, it's what someone on Reddit pointed out. At least they didn't say value at 1,000 cartel coins, Really try and give it a monetary thing, showing that, you'll be able to buy most things, or, that's what they say, there's going to be rewards that you're going to be able to get from doing operations, doing, dailies, doing other things throughout it. There's going to be the actual house decorations from crafters, from the GTN, or from the cartel market. From the cartel market as well too, so you're going to be able to get a bunch of items from all over the place.
Well, I mean, did you read the whole page? I mean, they're even offering, if you're a subscriber by April 2nd, 500 cartel bonus, and by May 4th, 1,000 bonus cartel. And I don't know, does that mean that we already get
on
like
top
450? So is that on?
They said that
it's on top of.
That's on top of.
It's a one-time bonus on top of what you already get for being a monthly subscriber.
And you can call the cartel market a cash grab, but I had a bunch of people who didn't play the game before, and so they clicked on my link through Reddit. Now every time they re-up, I get 100 freaking cartel coins along with the 450, and for having the thing on it. I don't buy cartel coins. I don't need to.
Yeah, there's ways of. I mean, the cartel markets, it's whatever you want it to be, if you want to pump a bunch of money into it and buy a bunch of cool things, then do it. But you can also not do that and still get plenty of things off of the market.
Right. Now, keeping on track, I just would like to say that I have been. One thing that I've always said about the housing is I wanted trophies. So I'm really glad that we're getting the sort of gold statue of Karaga, stuff like that. That's really cool, in my opinion. But one thing that I haven't heard about yet is I still am dying, and I know, call me crazy, but for at least like a little patch or something that shows my guild, I mean, I think the guild flagship, and so I'm leading into the guild flagship.
I was gonna say a giant capital ship's not good enough for you. You need a little tiny
thing. See it other than us.
No, but
you know what I'm saying? Like the flagships, like
yeah.
Now, if every time you buy a flagship, your ship appears outside the fleet, that might be really cool. But I don't see that happening.
I don't know. I think we're gonna buy ourselves a guild ship so big the Republic side will be able to see it.
No, but what I'm saying is, so now we're getting the guild flagship, and I wonder if okay, so we've started to see the fact that there's only going to be titles in nightmare mode if you do it within a certain amount of time, like not the 2-hour thing, but until the first nerf, basically. If you do it before the first nerf, then there's you get your own title, and I'm wondering if that's going to be stuff that you're now going to be able to unlock on your flagship, your guild flagship.
It depends. I mean, with the different color, with there being a gold and silver statue, I'm wondering if that shows the level of completion. So if you only did it on story mode, it'll be bronze. If you did it on hard mode, you'll get like a silver. If you did it on nightmare, you'd get the gold statue. That's just my idea, but looking at the different color of the statues that are in there.
Right, so if you did like a time run, you might get, something. You might get a diamond one.
A freaking diamond encrusted,
Diamond.
That damn.
But no, back to what you were saying, Rod. I think that I don't know if this is where you're going with it, but they could do like a crest on your house that represented your guild. Like a insignia over the top of your house.
I don't give us capes because that's what WoW did. But I would like to see maybe an insignia on like a chest plate. No, this gear is hard, so maybe if it was like a little kind of like a cape, but you know how they have those sort of like sash things. Now am I saying I want to wear a sash? No, but I think there's a lot of ways to do it to signify guild, to signify your guild, and I would like to see it. It's something that maybe it's not that important to a lot of people, but I've always been very big on guild camaraderie, and having something like that is always seems really nice to me. But the flagship's really cool too. It's something that I thought Guild Wars 1 did very well, and I'm hoping that there'll be perks to being like going on your guild ship and doing things. If there's unlocks that the guild can work together to get.
I would guess that there'd be maybe like quick travel areas to the actual operations, so you can get to Brawl's courtyard. Maybe it's an unlock you have to purchase for the guild ship, but maybe you can purchase each operations instance, so you can all just meet up from the fleet real quick and then travel right there instead of having to go through a work run.
Yeah.
You guys like to see something like that? Or?
Yeah, it'd be awesome. You can launch from it essentially, but it'd be and even maybe they, who knows, they might segue into being able to summon your guild, be able to, something we've talked about before, of course, I think a lot of people have, but, something where your guild can launch to where you're at somehow, from pod.
See, you're going to be able to do that to your stronghold, so possibly to the guild.
Well, it'd be really awesome.
Your friends can port to your stronghold.
Oh, they do? I didn't see that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do they have to be in a party, or is I don't know. Have you heard anything about that? I mean, obviously we don't know.
I believe so.
But so they're basically.
I believe that was the follow-up question.
Like the way the ships work. So.
Yeah, kind of what we were speculating with Sotor Minor, that it'd be something that you could like an instance. So you'd like your ship. You'd have to be in the group for someone to be able to get into your ship.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's at least you'll be able to show it off, Maybe there'll be. I'm really hoping for an in-game sort of game, to be honest, and then.
Well,
you can have
there's a roster, so
you're night at your house, and set it up and party time.
Did you see the roster that you'll be able to do? So you're going to be able to see who has the most expensive. Basically, they have the prestige system. So each item in your house gives you certain prestige points. And then they have like some sort of leaderboard, I guess, in game or something, so you can see who has the most prestige in the city.
Is there going to be like season 1 designer trophies? Like, I'm the super designer.
I want one.
Super.
Don't be hating on my freaking diamond gemmed.
My checkered, no, I can just see it. Like, dude, you know how they do that? The whole. I mean, I think it was an episode of King of the Hill where they were like showing off their house. We have an 1800s vintage, like wood carving, or something like that. I could just see it. Like, I chose the polka dots on my blind because I think it added just a certain amount of flair to my house, and I cut holes in it so that it would shine down light upon me as I woke up. Like I could, you know what I'm saying? And then you got the goth kid. I hate life, so my house is black. You know what I want for my house? You know how Jabba the Hutt had that like sort of thing where he ate slimy crap off of it? Like, what was that? He had a little monkey hanging on him, and he ate
the frogs.
He ate like the frogs.
Oh,
I totally want one of those.
You're talking about Hellacious Crumb, dude, the fucking little monkey. That guy was awesome. Or the frog, or are you talking about the little frogs that he would eat out of the punch bowl?
Yeah. I'm talking about like the punch bowl looking. I just want a punch bowl full of frogs.
Oh yeah.
Like, and this is this is for when I have Hutts over. I have my punch bowl full
right.
of
Your delicatessen.
I'm the greatest builder of houses and designer of houses because I'm ready for anybody who comes over. Like, I just want to be such a pompous ass. Like, I'm gonna be that neighbor. Dude, do you think they have blinds where I like look out my blinds every now and then and be like, what are the neighbors doing? The neighbor's dog is pooping on the lawn.
Neighborhood watch.
How about when I buy my palace, Rondo? We'll let you. Let you be my butler, so you can introduce people and get people the tour of my house. How about that?
I'll do it. I'll do it, man. Like people invent and like we'll do like RP style. I'll do the RP walk, and I'll be like, and over here, this cost big a small fortune in the selling of aliens into the slave market. you know, like, but it's very beautiful, and he decided that he didn't need his slaves anymore, so he just sold them for this piece here. Over here, this is something that Ignitia made. We put it up because he's like the family or guild slow person. I didn't want to say that
Right.
real word.
It's like the the thing you put your kid's thing on the refrigerator. Like when you put your kid's thing on the refrigerator,
Right.
just to be nice, even though you know it's crap.
It's like he's 16 years old and still looks in the sky and goes like, "Hey, airplane, airplane."
Yeah, well, Ignitia, you're making fun of yourself here. I mean, point proven.
I really don't care. I don't really care.
I
I'm
know,
just
I
gonna
know.
roll with it.
No, but I think it's cool, and I just warn you guys that I'm gonna be naked on the guild capital ship. I said it from the first time we talked about it. The first time we had Swote's Reminder on the show, I said that if we get the guild capital ship, I will be naked on that ship. It's just gonna happen.
We'll make sure not to hold
thanks for the warning.
raids during that time.
Should I just get my guild kick?
Make sure we don't just don't do it in front of guests, and we'll be okay. All right. How about that?
All right. But there was some stuff that you were talking about earlier, right, Ignitia, about some of the changes coming to some additional class changes, right, that you were talking about.
Yeah, it's mainly regarding Sorks and Sages, how they're trying to fix our Lightning and Wrath trees to where it's not as RNG dependent. And on the PTS so far, they've been doing a really good job on changing this single target. They almost killed our AoE by making the stacking buff go with our Force Storm, or as in Sages, it would be the Force Quake. And what they're doing now to remedy that is actually change it back to the way it was, mainly just off Force Storm and Force Quake, to where it will proc still within that 10-second window, and it'll be kind of like normal. So our AoE's back, and everybody should be happy. So that was pretty much the big news that I've recently seen on the class changes. For all those other classes, I really don't care about you anymore. So piss off.
So, talking about the PTS, how goes? Has anybody been keeping up with the downings, or are we getting full clears in the PTS at the moment?
As of right now, no.
Well,
mainly
people. You sure? I thought people got the mount. Oh, I thought the mount dropped in the last one, or is it just random? Oh, okay.
It's the last one, but it's been given. But the thing is the big thing was they had a massive bug with not Corruptor Zero, but the Gatekeeper on final phase. His shield was staying up infinitely, so nobody was able to kill him, and then they eventually fixed that. And so far, Hatred, I've seen actually put up the first video on Nightmare Corruptor Zero, and that looks like it's going to be pretty fun. So
You think it's the
but I
boss to
haven't heard
beat?
anything.
Kind of like the Dreadguards was for TFB. I mean, really, the Dreadguards was at the point when you get by them, you pretty much could clear the place. Is that kind of what they're speculating right now, that it's going to be Corruptor Zero?
And I would say that would be pretty much the case, because it's going to be a huge communication check, and if you're not on your game, you're gonna probably die. So it'll be interesting to see.
Did you see the new changes to ground target area of effects?
No, I haven't actually.
So
what's
they're-
going on?
So what they're going to do, they give the example is death from above. So you try and cast death from above, and maybe there's an obstacle in the way, or you did it too close and it didn't cast. But then that target still stays up there. So if you're trying to click somewhere else, it might accidentally make you launch it. You have to right click to unactivate it. So they're making it so if it fails, then it's going to basically remove the reticle. So you'll have that ability at least, to not do that. It says when the option is active, so it looks like you'll be able to enable or disable that option. So, if it's kind of an annoyance for you, if you're just trying to click death from above, for some reason it doesn't, again, it doesn't activate. Again, it would be like any other, I guess, orbital strike or strike fighter from the Scoundrel. But and then the other one is ground target activation. So when active, pressing a hotkey, so it looks like it's a new target ability they'll have. It gives the when pressing the hotkey twice, basically it's to give you the ability to cast your AoE at your feet. So again, it wouldn't work for bounty hunters, but for someone using orbital strike or like a grenade, you'll be able to basically hit the hotkey twice, and then it will basically instantly cast that AoE right at your feet, so you don't actually have to try and target it. So again, if you're trying to run away, like a good example for that is like PvP. As a healer, you're trying to run away, by clicking the key and then trying to target at your feet. It's an extra second or two, and you're having to move your mouse around. So you'll be able to double tap the key, and then it'll just automatically throw that grenade straight at your feet.
Wait, so why are they making these changes? I'm just wondering what's the point of making these changes? Is it just quality of life sort of stuff?
Yeah, quality of life. Again, in that the example for my operative, I've died sometimes trying to throw the damn grenade on the ground. Either once, it didn't work for some reason, I didn't have it, and then I'm stuck with that, and then I accidentally throw it again later, which uses up my GCD, which made it so I can't stealth out and die. So again, I guess it's just more of a quality of life, and it's kind of a nice thing to be able to instantly cast.
I'm just wondering, like, for me, if it happens to me and like, it doesn't go off, I just instantly right click and I just go about my business. I'm wondering if it's just makes it easier. Is that all?
He's calling you an idiot.
No. A little.
Well, there's two things, because again, there's two changes. So there's one doing the right-click thing. Again, yeah, you can just easily right-click that. But again, if you don't want to have to worry about that, you can set it up automatically. The thing the second one is what I like better, is being able to throw the grenade at your feet instantly. So again, for your death from above, it's not going to be beneficial for you. But for a Sork doing lightning or something like that, again, it just makes it so you can stand there, spam the button twice, and it'll automatically cast your AoE, using your body as the center.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you don't have to move your mouse. Your mouse can be wherever you want, and you just double clicking, then it's instantly at your feet. So if you're trying to stop someone from capping.
So is that going to fix?
Yeah, it's definitely PvP.
Where I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood that at first. If I'm not right on top, or if I try to drop it right on top of me, I can't death from above. Is that kind of what it's fixing too?
No. So death from above, you still have to do that within a few meters. No, you're still screwed on that. But like your other sweeping blasters.
And I'm like, but that's my best AoE. I can't get in there. I was like a mad Guido right there, But I can't get in there. What are you talking about?
Think about for the bounty hunter, your sweeping blasters. How you can do that AoE anywhere.
Yeah.
So for the second change they're making, it just basically.
All of my heat, and I try to not use it a lot.
Correct, but I'm just giving you an example of ability you have. So if you wanted to if you wanted to throw that at a door to stop people from capping, if there's 3 or 4 people trying to cap a node, that's what I generally used it for. Then you don't have to worry about trying to target your death from above. You just spam that button twice, and it's automatically AoEing everyone right around you. So again, it's just a quality of life feature.
Well, that is nice. Anything else going on in the Star Wars: The Old Republic universe? I mean, I know that I have been playing around on my what's it called? My Power Tech tank. I've been having a lot of fun with that.
PvP, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Could you imagine me in PvE? I'm just saying. Yeah, but with and one thing I have noticed is because I'm doing that, I at least had. So I'm like in all DPS gear PvP DPS gear doing the tank stuff, so I'm trying to build up the tank side. And I'm noticing that there is a lot of people who are fresh 50s in there right now. Just not to be elitist, but they're stinking up the joint. Anybody like I noticed that with the fresh 50s. I mean, they leveled so fast, it's almost like they don't understand their class a little bit.
Well, I've seen it said around that ranked queues were kind of dwindling, and for solo queues it was almost impossible to get, before they announced the rewards. So I think at least for ranked, it's got the queues popping. For every chance that you can get someone bad on your team, you at least have a chance to get the bad person on the other team. So those type of wins losses from bad players kind of equal out sometimes. I try and queue off hours to kind of help out, but I did get my ranking over 15, so I will be receiving my ranker amount. Just to throw that out.
Oh, sure, rub it
Keep
in.
it in your pants.
Well, then I actually did.
No, big congratulations, dude. That's awesome.
Don't.
Oh, thanks for that.
Don't congratulate him.
I'm super jealous. Let's just stop hiding it.
Yeah, right.
But that's fine, because when the Rancor drops out of Nightmare mode, you're the last to get that.
Dibs.
I agree.
What,
you know
Big?
what?
You want the
I'm
Rancor?
totally
You already
on
have a
that.
Rancor.
I'm totally on that if it drops. But before we get onto this subject,
Well, actually, that actually kind of brings me into a
can't
topic
do
I
that.
wanted to.
I was ending it.
you can
But
have
it was a segue.
Like, you can't do that. That wasn't a segue. That was me ending it. Now I have to edit.
No, Talon said I could go over this one.
No.
Yeah, you have to edit that. Talon said I could talk about this room.
I did.
So since he did. Well, I just wanted, since we were talking about PvP, I just wanted to talk a little bit about honor and PvP and ranked PvP. We were doing some team ranked in one of our.
Stroking his ego again. Are you talking about you or
No,
we
no.
did it for you? Okay.
No, when they did it for us. We were doing some team ranked, and one of our members DC'd, so we asked the team, kind of threw out there, hey, do you mind having one of your DPS stand out, and they agreed to it. It was the guild failure on the Bastion server, so it was just honorable that they were able to willing to step down and make the game even, because again, I mean, rank is trying to
win?
prove that you're well, that's not that's not the thing in question. It was just
Did
the
you
fact
win?
that they were
I would like to
noble enough.
know, did you win? Because they let one of the guys step
It's
out.
not important, Ron.
No, it's important.
It was
It's not
honorable.
We did.
It's
We
honorable
did.
mention.
You won.
Because we won the first match, and then it was the and then he DC'd during the second one, and so they were able to win, I believe. So it came down to the third one. So they could have taken the. I mean, I guess that is a good point. They could have taken the easy road out and just beat us with there, but they chanced the loss, and they did get lost there, but they were all enough to actually try it, and that's happened in solo ranked as well too. And I've tried to get people to stand down as well too, but it just seems when everyone's out for themselves in solo. So again, there
But
are
you know
some
what?
great PvP.
You know what? They might have lost the game, but they got mad props.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, guild failure. I have to say, I don't see it often in this game, so I give you my props as well. All right. Well, anyways, grats, guild failure, for being honorable. You don't see that often in MMOs. And that was going to end it for us on episode 28. Just remember, if you're PvPing, it's red, it's dead. PvE, stay out of those red circles, people. And for Galactic Starfighter, keep blowing yourselves up. Have a great week in Star Wars The Old Republic, and we'll be back with you next week with episode 29. Have a good one.